Hello and thanks for joining us for the Midday News. 4 of the 6 parties to the Porgera Mining Project Community Development Agreement initialed the draft of the CDA on Wednesday, 9th of October, after 6 months of negotiations. The 4 are the special mining lease landowners, excluding 2 agents, who initialed the CDA document as representatives of their individual clans, the Porgera Urban Local Level Government, the Porgera Rural Local Level Government and the State, New Porgera Limited and the Enga Provincial Government did not attend the occasion for undisclosed reasons. The State will continue to dialogue with these 2 parties and is confident of reaching a consensus soon. The initialing ceremony took place at the Hilton Hotel in Port Moresby. The draft initialed CDA documents will go through the government vetting process, especially clearance on the fiscal and monetary terms and the legal aspects of the agreement. After the Office of the State Solicitor gives legal clearance, the document will go to the National Executive Council for deliberation and endorsement, after which the parties will implement the various undertakings in the agreement. Oak Teddy Mining Limited will celebrate its 40th anniversary of operation, marking 4 decades of resilience and excellence in the mining industry in Papua New Guinea. Starting in August of 1984 as a gold mining operation by Broken Hill Property Limited, OTML transitioned to a copper gold mine in 1987. From 2015 to present, OTML is a fully 100% PNG-owned mine. Throughout its history, OTML has demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity. Despite these challenges, OTML continues to remain resilient and operated successfully by providing economic and social benefits to Western Province and PNG over the past 40 years. OTML remains optimistic in continuing its operation for another 40 years. This is evident in the renewal of its special mine lease to 2042 and the company board in principle agreement to extend mine life to 2050. Here is a story of a dream that led to a life of service. Rebecca Bibi, a volunteer missionary, received a life-changing dream as a teenager. The word Honduras came to her in her sleep, sparking her journey into missionary work. The dream guided her to Central America, where she found a deeper connection to her faith through service. Over the years, Bibi's calling took her to Guatemala, Vietnam and Papua New Guinea with the Lane missionary group Vides. She now encourages others to live as daily life missionaries, embracing God's call wherever they are. In regional news, Day 1 of the Social Media Summit got underway in Sydney with the aim of exploring and addressing the impacts of social media on young children. Both the New South Wales and South Australia governments are pushing to adopt a first-of-its-kind nationally consistent age restriction.
It's about to get a whole lot trickier for school children.
We've got real change on the table, and that is a national ban on social media for young people.
The South Australian proposal is backed by both the New South Wales and federal governments.
Social media, unregulated, is doing our kids harm, and it's now time for governments to step in.
If it passes, a national age restriction could be enforced by the end of the year, but policy research group Reset Tech believes it falls short of any real change.
Keeping 14-year-olds off faulty products doesn't fix faulty products.
She would prefer to see a policy around duty of care, putting the onus on the platforms to do what's right.
Start to see them do things like algorithmic audits. Start to see them make their platforms a safer space for young people. And that can really try and change the way that young people use the digital world rather than just keeping them off it.
It's something that's now mandated in Europe. Some young people are also doubtful a ban will work.
I'm sceptical of how it'll be enforced, and I think you need to make social media companies accountable for that themselves.
Others are more open-minded.
I feel like if I got rid of it, it'd be hard, but if everyone didn't have it, I think it'd be easier.
The two-day summit will continue tomorrow in Adelaide.
Workplace culture at the Parliament House is again under scrutiny, with the Deputy Prime Minister's most senior member of staff claiming she was forced out of her dream job after being bullied at work. Richard Miles's long-time colleague and confidant says she was effectively sidelined after raising concerns about some staff members with him. But the Deputy Prime Minister insists her welfare was a priority as he tried to manage the dispute.
Trusted to meet with foreign leaders and let in on the most sensitive discussions, but today speaking out.
I am the most senior female Chief of Staff on the Hill, and my workplace is not safe.
With a lawyer by her side alleging she was bullied out of her job. Jo Tanoski says on her way home from this trip to Ukraine earlier this year, she raised concerns with Richard Miles about office bullying, not by him, but her own staff.
When she raised that concern, his response was to take her job away from her.
Not technically sacked, but shifted to another role. She says her access to the office has been restricted and she hasn't heard from him for months.
The way that I have been treated has been cowardly, cruel and completely unnecessary.
Not detailing the specific bullying allegations or what she wants other than accountability from those involved.
I have been plagued with nightmares, flashbacks, symptoms of depression and anxiety, panic attacks and suicidal thoughts.
Responding in a statement, a spokesperson for Mr Miles says a number of the assertions and recollections are contested before the Minister answered questions in the chamber.
The way in which I've tried to manage this, I have done so with Jo's welfare in mind at every moment.
New procedures have been put in place in this unique workplace to deal with claims of bullying and harassment, though this case would seem to show that dealing with contested allegations isn't always straightforward, especially when they play out in public.
In sports, with PNG, Solomon Islands, Fiji and New Caledonia in Group A, New Caledonia and Fiji kicked off their campaign on a good note, recording wins over PNG and Solomon Islands in Match 1 and 2 qualifiers held in Fiji yesterday. For the first time in FIFA World Cup history, the Oceania region has one guaranteed qualification spot available, with an additional place in the FIFA Intercontinental Playoff also up for grabs. The prospect of representing the nation on the big stage slowly coming into view, better performance is key. In yesterday's matches, Fiji and New Caledonia started their FIFA World Cup 26 Oceania qualifiers campaign well with victories over PNG and Solomon Islands. In the first game, New Caledonia opened the match with much hyped and clear direction for a win, fielding in a strong side. As the first half wore on, they were presented the perfect chance to take the lead with more opportunities into the game, beating PNG 3-1. PNG's only goal was from overseas-based Tommy Semi. New Caledonia, despite the lack of training and withdrawing from the OFC Nations Cup in June, regrouped for good performance. In the second match, hosts Fiji narrowly overcame Solomon Islands 1-0, despite spending the majority of the 90 minutes with only 10 men. It was the Solomon Islands who started on a brighter side of the two, pinning the host back in the half but struggling to create any chance for a goal. Much like Fiji this week, Papua New Guinea will be enjoying a home advantage when qualifying continues in Port Moresby in November. PNG coach Vera Arango said the qualifier is a new starting point for PNG, and the team needs to be strong, be humble, and the fans need to understand that there is a process. It's not just one game. The 2024 Port Moresby hockey season concluded successfully with the grand final on Sunday at the Blue Water Pitch Pavilion at the Sir John Guy Stadium. With the hockey making a comeback after the pandemic, there were truly some fast and entertaining hockey displayed across the day by the top women and men teams in both A and B grade divisions vying for the top honors. Interestingly, the women and men B grade finals ended up in draw after regulation time and had to be decided on penalty shootout.
When summing up the 2024 hockey season after last Sunday's grand final, President of the Port Moresby Hockey, Kawetan Poliap, said the overall event was challenging, especially with trying to revive the association after the pandemic. As expected, the objective was to endure 2 rounds of competition that ended with some high-class hockey in both men and women finals. The President said in the women's A-grade fixture between 6-time defending Queens Wanderers and worthy challenger Sunam, Wanderers displayed their class-dominating field and possession to send Sunam back to the drawing board with a dominant 3-0 victory to claim their 7th premiership title. The day concluded in the evening with the men's blockbuster between Young Guns Blades and Foundation Club Sunam. First half was goalless, with the battle concentrated in the midfields. In the second half, Blades took the lead 1 goal up and firmly in control until the last 10 minutes, when the resilient Sunam outfit eventually wrestled the momentum back, scoring 2 goals in quick sequence to seal the victory over Blades 2-1 and taking out the cup. Poliap also said they are now looking forward to a number of international events coming up at the end of the year for both the seniors and the youths, which would be officially confirmed and announced in due course. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
And that ends our midday news update. Do join us at 6 tonight for more news and sports.